need to meet him, guys.
Can I take one of these home or?
Of course you can. Of course.
The harvest. Yeah.
Hashtag the harvest. Yeah, even yes.
I'm gonna ask you, were you there? And you don't know how they want to do.
How are you guys feeling towards this event?
I love it. I'm excited. I'm so excited. It's gonna be such a good day. Yeah. So you go, guys. The harvest. What do you know about the harvest? Yeah.
Lord help me fix my gaze upon the cross. If you're in me, nothing can be a loss. I put my face in the dust and declare you're holy. This is the race I run, you're the call before me. You are holy, Elohim, I shall die. You are for me, Elohim, Adonai. No weapon formed against me, Elohim, I shall die. Shall ever prosper, Elohim, Adonai. You are holy, Elohim, I shall die. You are for me, Elohim, Adonai. No weapon formed against me, Elohim, I shall die. Shall ever prosper, Elohim, Adonai.
It's very interesting to
Yeah, so health and safety other than heat, like guys, it's like 28 degrees today. Let's all be safe, let's be guided, and we do have a few, in fact 3 giveaways at the end of the day. Yeah, 3 giveaways. I'm not going to mention what the giveaways are just yet, but just know, be trying one in those practical exercises because you will be marked on them. Just so you know, it's going to be an active day today, guys. The first 2 workshops, we have Beyond the Lens and we have Cut Your Garment According to Your Size. Beyond the Lens is a creative direction, photography and videography workshop with 3 lovely ladies, Annie Ola Joseph, Nana Essie and Oren Johnson. The second one is a fashion styling and content creation workshop done by Mona, who's entering the room right now, and me. So yeah, we're excited to start.
Insight into the client, how she was feeling, what she wanted out of my service. And someone just wanted yeah, what she wanted out of my service. Obviously, a birthday is very special to someone, especially because like that's your day. I wanted to feel as, I don't know, as beautiful as possible, as comfortable as possible in her clothes.
I want to do, what's the message that I want to portray? So if I want to, I don't know, portray myself as a strong, independent black woman as I am, how do I portray that? How do my outfits reflect that? The next thing I'll do is select location. So me and Angela always used to do content days. We'd find places on campus, whether it was the Fab building, which is just across, whether it was in the Oculus, and we just make things work. I think sometimes people feel like they need to live in central London. You don't. You just need a square of a building or a room and just really go for it. Some of you guys in here, you'd be like, I like this person's feet. I remember, okay, keep it, just on Alexander, your feet is amazing. I screenshot your feet when I was starting. I was like, you know what, the writings, the different, I was like, yeah, this is what content day, I should do 3 outfits. In my mind, I'm spending 30 minutes per outfit, but really and truly, sometimes it goes over. So me and Angela could be up for 6 hours just in London heat. I remember one time it was just so hot, but we had to get it done. But like, you want someone who can be like, okay, you know, add this or pose like this. Sometimes on content days, Angela will be like, no, Annie, do your arm like this, put your leg like this. You know, how can I achieve this? Do I need props? Guys, you saw the harvest things, did you not?
Yeah.
I love a good prop on a content day. Whether it's a newspaper, a little bit of food on the side, a rose. You need to ask yourself, am I imitating somebody? Am I imitating Uche? She's great, but I can't be Uche. I can only be Ali. And so with that, stretch your capacity. The more you stretch your capacity creatively, the better you'll be able to form ideas. But if you're constantly imitating, when it comes to the original, you won't have anything to share or say. So you can take inspiration, but just allow, for me, I do a lot of prayer. I let God speak to me, be like, okay, God, what are we doing with this content? What are we doing with this concept? So being original does not necessarily mean being eccentric. You don't have to be like Lady Gaga and wear meat. You don't need to. You just need to decide, there's nobody that can do this the way I can do it. And it might be simple, and that's good, but simple is effective at the end of the day. I want my content to add value. So I'm thinking about how is this a full circle moment that means that I feel like I'm fulfilling purpose while I'm doing it.
Are building like a staple wardrobe. I guess we can then elevate to more, I guess, edgy staples. So like a jean, the cut of it might be asymmetric. Your necklines, so this is quite a low neckline, looking around. This is quite our beautiful sister over here. She's got a higher neckline.
How do you go about accessorizing?
Accessories, how can I
For instance, like, I can see that silver goes really well with your skin tone. I find that gold goes well with my skin tone as well. But I'm trying to diversify my accessories. So how do you like work with your color palette?
I find that it depends on not only the outfit I'm wearing, but the hair I also have. Right now, like I've got braids, I can't really wear too much gold with it because I find it clashes. The outfit, so there's cooler tones, so for silver outside, I wear it with cooler tones like this, gold, more warm outfits.
And welcome to good presentations. Next slide, please. So, this is what we're going to go through today. So, who am I? What is a creative director? Where do I fit as a creative director? How I made Is It My Time for Love? How I made the journey? Just use your iPhone. You can just use your iPhone when you want to make a short film. And make sure that you follow the creative director. So, what is a creative director? Anyone try and guess?
As a creative director, the person that is in charge of the creative vision behind the piece that you're making.
Yeah. So, quick exercise. I would like you guys to get into groups of 3, or even the groups that you're in now. And you have 2 minutes to create a cinematography shot. And it doesn't have to be anything spontaneous, it doesn't have to be anything magnificent, blah, blah. The point is to use what's around you with the techniques that I've given you and apply it. So here's inspo on the board if you're stuck. So
How much time do they have?
2 minutes. Go. Stand up as well.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, come on!
Oh!
Let me introduce myself next. Bawani, if you guys can't tell, I'm Nigerian. But yeah, Bawani, what's up, bonjour, what is there? I'm your favorite Nigerian babe. I was born in Nigeria in Ibadan State.
Real.
Like I said before, each and every one of us, we all have different stories, we all see different things. Like I said, life is ghetto, but it's a different kind of ghetto for everybody. So, and because of that, it contributes to the ideas that you come up with, the way you see stuff, and that's why I said it's my camera lens, but you guys will be your personal camera lens and how you tell the stories. And the characters are the people, are the objects. Because sometimes it's not people in the frame, it can be a building. And sometimes me, I'm a nature babe as well, the trees look nice. So that can be your object. So that's the character. And intention, what feelings and emotions do you want? You just like experience, do you want them to be sad? Do you want them to be like raw and life? Or do you want them to be hopeful? So like, or do you want them to be some sort of conflict? Do you want people to be like, oh, wow, what do you want them to feel basically? So that is what makes a story visually. So not necessarily like ABCD, it's just like this. Yeah, so yeah, next one. And then I'm gonna explain the what, how, and why of telling, because that in itself is a skill. So yeah, with the what, the reason why the what of telling a story is important because it's a reflection of what, like I said before, each and every one of us, we all experience and seeing different things. It's what helps you come up with the ideas.
Content day, and then this I repurposed added fabric to a dress that I was wearing to a Christmas ball. So when you're looking for things to repurpose, if you are into sewing or if you are thinking of getting into sewing, I'd say look at your wardrobe and think, what do I no longer wear and what do I want to maybe make into something that's different so that I don't have to just throw it away. So what happened with the white shirt was that I didn't actually like the way it fit, so it was like, it was basically long sleeve, but it kind of cut here and it just looked weird. And the bottom was also kind of flared out and I wanted it to be straight, so I just said, let me make this thing cropped. So it's just looking at what you don't like and changing it into something that you do like. Again, for the ball, I just wanted a bit of barbarian. So I added a bit of organza, which I bought from Amazon. Heartful service, the power of networking, community and fellowship, and jealousy in the industry. Jealousy in the industry, which is something people don't want to talk about because it's real, and the industry is big. The industry of fashion, of creativity is becoming more and more saturated, and there's so many people who are around us who are creative, and they're all great in their own different ways, but a lot of us don't express the fact that sometimes we do become a little bit jealous of other people's successes or stuff like that. And it just goes back to the idea that community in itself can protect you from jealousy. We're praying on that day, the Lord gave me a vision of a harvest field actually. And it was like there was a bunch of laborers around, and there was so many and there was these harvesters, like a massive, obviously more than the laborers, right? Because the Bible says the laborers are few and the harvest is plenty. And there was like these laborers and they were praying for the harvesters. And then I had the image of like one person by themselves and they were the laborer. And then there was all these harvesters. And it's like, how selfish can we be to think that we want all the success, that we want to be the only one to impact somebody else? Like how is it that you're going to be going around praying for every single harvester and healing the sick? No, you need more people. You need more laborers to come in and be part of the body of Christ, of the creative kingdom, who are able to step in and pray and heal the sick and all of these kind of things. So it's a self-centered thing to think that you should be the only person experiencing success, because we're all part of the same kingdom.
Okay, we're gonna go into a quick group task. I want you guys to build your capsule wardrobe. If I was a millionaire, I would give you guys £100 each right now, and £100 each to do your online shopping.
I think I like this skirt. No, I don't. I think I'm wearing my skirt
If you're not over,
maybe I should do a dress.
That's really what God said to me when I was fighting the idea that if the gospel informs your creativity, then it will assault the worldview. If you are truly the Lord's, then your creativity cannot help but speak His name. Sometimes it will speak between the lines, and other times it will be Jesus on the title page, but ultimately it's for His glory. Get out of the way and start wherever you need to start. Thank you guys.
And God says, if the Lord hates you, bear in mind they hated me first. I'm not saying to go out and cause carnage and be an anarchist, but sometimes you have to make like a salmon and go upstream instead of downstream. Sometimes you have to go against the grain and go against the things that you would normally do in an attempt to pave your own way, because after that you'll kind of, like Angela said, you'll reap your harvest, you'll reap the things that you really sowed into the ground for. So yeah, I would say sometimes it's just taking that step out. As well as accountability. If you can find someone that's going to keep you accountable and always let you know that you are powerful, that you have a purpose in the thing that you're doing, you always succeed. How do you tread the fine line between confidence and cockiness? We speak about this a lot between us. Sometimes we can kind of see ourselves as like the main character or the protagonist of a story, and that doesn't always align with the things that we should do. So how do you kind of tread that line and allow yourself to be secure and comfortable in your ability and your skill, but not to do too much, essentially?
To start off, I'd say probably by just remembering that your gift is to serve others, like you guys were saying before. Even though it's not you and it's something that's deeper than you, it's meant to go and touch other people. And you kind of remember that you're just a conduit rather than the source itself. And you're a conduit of like God's hope or the storyline that you're trying to put across. For us as Christian creatives, we have storylines that are given to us from God, straight from Him. So for us, we're just a conduit of, that storyline, that idea. And through that, you kind of remember like this is God's and not mine, and we just put it forward.
I think I was going to say the same thing, just to stay humble and to remember that it's not yours at the end of the day. It's God's. It's His that he gave it to you in the first place. He gave you the ideas, he gave you the opportunities, he gave you the doors to open and the rooms to step into in the first place. So if you have the cheek to say, oh yeah, I'm hard because I did it by my own mind, yeah, all of it, really take away that and humble you so quickly.
But the base of cockiness is that just being self-centered.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that God's been teaching me as well, because sometimes I wouldn't say, if I'm being honest, that I'm as confident in a lot of the things that I want to do. Like, if someone asks me to do something, I'm like, oh, are you sure that I should do it? And then I'll finally come to do it, do you know what I'm saying? And I think that speaks a little bit like false humility, like you try to act like, oh, I don't know what to do. You wanted to do it. And I think what God showed me as well is that, like, even being insecure to that extent is still being self-centered, because you're still at the center of your own mind. Like, even when you come into a room and you're just scared, like, oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? From the time that you walked in up to the time you've only thought about yourself throughout the whole thing. You know? If you do have an opinion that's different to others, don't just say it, but show it. Like, let it be so excellent that even if you stand out like a sore thumb, it's like, we don't like her, but we love her. Like, she's just so good at what she does, or like the quality of her work is so amazing. Even if we are different faiths, then there's nothing I can do about it, because I appreciate her work. You know?
I wanted to ask, how do you overcome fear? So fear of being inadequate, or just fear like you've got to give you a project to do. How do you overcome that fear? I kind of want to tackle that angle.
I think fear is a great opportunity to really partner with God, because I'll give you an example like this event. Like initially, as it was like just a small idea, of course, and I think throughout the entire process, I've really learned what it means to lean on God, because none of this I could ever do by myself, and even when it comes to speaking, I'm just so scared. Like, I used to be scared. I'm not scared anymore.
There it is,
yeah. But yeah, it's been a process, and I just feel like, honestly, like when a lot of pastors say feel the fear and do it anyway, right? Like, it's just such a big thing, and it's not a joke. Like, you actually have to feel the fear and you have to do it anyway, because the more you delay, the Lord is still going to be tapping you on the shoulder and being like, what's going on? Like, I've actually called you. And you know, it's a thing where, like, with this event, obviously, like, if you guys have been keeping up with me on social media, I've been doing my exams, my final year exams, and it's like, I was kind of asking God, like, why now? Like, could have just done it a bit later? Like, it's actually my final year. But if the Lord will honestly provide for me everything. Entered and finished my exam period. I was asking God, like, how is it that I got through that and planned this event? It's because He gave me grace. So it's like knowing, yeah, you have that fear, but it's like the Lord has got you. And I know people say, oh, like, God's got you. But when I say God has got you, He's probably got you. Like, yeah.
Anyone have any extra questions, feel free to just grab one of us and ask us any.
Oh, do you want us to do this?
My salad. Hi guys, this is my salad. I made the salad. You made the salad.
Did you make the salad? Yes. She made it. There are carrots and there are peppers. What is that?
No, it's too much.
Yeah, it's even giving she made the salad. You think this is okay to cut?
Yeah,
selection.
I love the selection.
We've got some spring rolls.
Yeah.
Got some samosas in there.
Wow, real variety.
What are those things with the shrimp? What's that called?
Tempura.
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 We're getting fed.
Today.
What, are we starting the lunch now? Yeah, girl. Yeah. Put me that hot dogs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just save me that platter.
One plate. What colour? Someone shout colour to me.
Purple.
I heard purple.
Yeah.
Who said purple? Who said yellow? Why did you say yellow?
Because I could see the light from the back and the yellow will stand out with that.
Wow. There we go. It's thought. Like, I said pick colour, people shouted colours, which is fine, but she's saying a colour that she thinks will stand out in comparison to, I mean, it does already, you can see. So,
I told you from the beginning,
plug your YouTube. Then what you can do is, you can highlight both of them like this, right click, and then you go to auto align clips. Now, what I've done before I recorded the video was I got Ori to clap. So the clap is a wave signal, right? Sound is obviously in waves. So what the system will do is it will find the clap, it will set the audio from it. Do you know what I mean? That's why when they make films, you see they use the clapboard. That's why they do that.
So I'm thinking of the opportunity because usually they say that we love your content or these kind of things, and you say, yeah, thank you for appreciating my content. Then you would express how you feel about their suggestions, so whether they've been specific and said, can you create a feed post, can you create a story, and say, yeah, I'd be happy to. For example, I'd be happy. Your products represent the personality and brand that I'm trying to build on my page. If you would like me to send you anything else, like my insights or previous collabs I've done, please let me know. And then that was, if you guys follow me back in the day, you know I used to be A-Styles. Yes, right.
God, you call me by my name. The love you give me, I just can't deny. Yeah. No longer blinded, I can see you. We need I'm on my way to meet you. All these trials and tribulations got me tired, I need rest. And I heard that I can come to you when weary of my flesh. You awaken me from death, God, I need you. No more walking by the flesh, that's when I leave. God told me I'm someone, told me I'm someone, told me I'm someone, told me I'm.
No pain necessary, it almost felt natural to me. And yes, I was still doing a lot of things physically, but they were all stained by a genuine outpour, an overflow of the revelation that he had given to me, the understanding that he graciously filled me with. I worship just to worship. So even when I did work, it was still worship because I had become worship. So honestly, I have to think to myself, why don't I just worship to worship anymore? Because just like work, now I worship for results. With a goal in the back of my mind, when I worship, it feels like work because I have become work, I've embodied work, I am work. So this is my brooding question. When did my worship become like work? Or rather, when did I start worshipping works? If you're anything like me, I'm sure that your notes are full of gems from today and events even from the past that you're still yet to go back and read on. That's a bit too late. But God literally spoke to me recently and he said, Jemima, your to-do list grows longer every day. Well done. But your devotional journal is empty.
This brand that started off as a sprinter, started off as wanting to create something for someone else, it would end up becoming this place in which people begin to demand more of me, begin to connect with some stuff in my story, and then begin to find themselves in that story. Many students would then see that they were not alone in a problem. We would go to fight a legal situation, and I would eventually, a year later, after having to be kicked out of uni, pay fees enough so that I'm not in debt, we would eventually win a case with student finance that would change the law. That changed the law. That's something that a lot of people don't realize. Unintentionally, even if you don't realize, you're going somewhere, even if it feels like nowhere. And I found that living in faith alone is living in this beautiful narrative in which Jesus is the hero of the story, and first he saved me. And that is my identity. And Paul says it so well. He says, help us to live only to that which we've already attained. Becoming is about living to that which you already have. And the hope is that you've already become. Why do I just keep talking when I've been cancelled how many times? Because I have things to say. And here's the thing. The things I have to say are so important that I don't need the platform. There are people on the floor who need to listen. As in, when people are desperate, when there's a need, people who need will listen. And so you make sure that you talk about things that are necessary. So you talk about things that are true to you, that are authentic to you, so that when the world chooses not to listen to you, you still speak, because it's important that you do. A good brand is one that invites. It's one that starts conversations. It's one that brings people together, because at the end of the day, every single thing you're wearing, every expression that you have is literally sold to you by someone else. So in some way, that you don't even realize that you're still trying to find how you belong. So we go to events searching for meaning. We speak to friends searching for meaning. We go to university searching for meaning. So we're all trying to just belong.
Hey guys, Angela here, just checking in, and I just wanted to say a massive thank you to every single person that served at the harvest, every single person that was a guest, and every single person that attended. I cannot explain the gratitude that I feel. It is now over a month past that I'm making this video for you guys to see on Friday in a couple of days, and I'm really excited for you guys to see both people who came and didn't come. I've received so many lovely messages regarding the harvest, both from people who have come and like people who wish they were there, and people who didn't know about it but then they found out about it, and it was just like so amazing to see people know about what the harvest is when it was just such a small idea that I didn't even, you know, think people would kind of approach me about. And I feel so blessed to kind of have stewarded a vision. And every time I think about the harvest, I feel so elated because of the tremendous work that God did on the day and the lead up to it. I think I'm even more excited, or I am even more happy with the things that God did before the event in a sense, I guess, because it's the lead up that you kind of see the move of God. Obviously you see him on the day, but it's the nights when you're by yourself and you're praying and everything, and you're hearing the voice of God speak to you so clearly. And it's done a tremendous amount for my personal relationship with him. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time. This is the end of the video. But if you've gotten here, thank you so much. Comment below an idea for a next event potentially, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side. But yeah, thank you so much. I'm Angela, this has been Angela, and I will see you later. Bye.